life practice community.
Okay, fantastic. Well, we're going to meet in a seated position whenever you're ready. I'm going to sit on my bolster. If you want to sit on a chair, a sofa, sit crisscross on your mat, whatever works for you. It's getting cold here, and jogging pants are officially becoming my uniform, so just so we all know. I'm freezing all the time. All right, readjusting to Canada is not easy. So we'll get started. Welcome to the mat and to yoga for everybody. When you get into a comfortable seat, you might want to rest the eyes if that's comfortable, or soften your gaze and just try connecting to the breath for a moment. Not changing your breathing, but just noticing. Letting yourself settle in this moment. For most of us, the end of the day. For some of us, the night before another busy work week. And today, we're going to be working through some heart opening postures. We're going to be talking a bit about love. So maybe you'll want to set an intention for this practice. Something like, I am loved, or I deserve to be loved. I can give and receive joy and love. Or maybe I love myself without conditions. Something that resonates with you. This idea of being loved, along with our heart opening postures, connects to our heart chakra. The heart chakra's energetic job is to help us love unconditionally, both ourselves and others. We'll bring our eyes to open slowly, and we'll just work through a bit of spinal movement before we fall into stillness. So first, I invite you to just sit up tall, stretching through the spine, reaching your head up as if it's going to touch the ceiling. Breathing, not holding your breath. We're first going to land the right fingertips on the mat, and we will lean over to the right, lifting the left hand up overhead, stretching through that left side body. And again, breathing into any areas that need more room. On your next exhale, we'll take the arms over to the other side, landing the left fingertips and bringing the right hand overhead. Feeling the stretch through the right side body this time. On our next exhale, coming back up to neutral. This time we're going to take a twist to the right. So twisting, the left palm comes onto the right knee, right fingertips behind you. Feeling a twist through your spine. You can take the head to gaze back over the right shoulder. And on your next exhale, we'll take it the opposite way. Left fingers behind you this time. Head gazing over the left shoulder. Awesome. coming back to neutral, we're going to run through a couple of cat-cows. You can take these from seated or from a table position. So whatever works for you. If you're taking it from seated, just rounding through the back and pushing forward through the chest, taking them at your own pace. And if you want to come up onto your hands and knees, same thing. Palms are under the shoulders, lifting the head for your cow and then rounding the back for your cat. Whichever variation you're taking it at your own pace, whatever feels good in your back today. If you're in a table, you might want to walk the hands to each side and run through a couple there just to sort of give a different stretch, a different angle. Whatever feels good. If there's any other wiggles that you need to get out, go ahead and take those now. And when you're ready, we're going to come down to start in a reclined butterfly. So using your props, you're going to want to make that ramp we always talk about. I use a block and my bolster. You can stack cushions up to make a ramp. Whatever you have with you, but the goal, of course, is this angle, okay? So that's what we're aiming for. And when you've got your props ready, coming to sit at the edge of the bolster or your cushion. So my back is just touching on there. And then you can bring the soles of feet together and slowly walk yourself back onto your ramp. If you prefer to do this in seated, you can do the same thing on a chair with your cushion. And then as for the feet, the closer in that they are to your body, the deeper the stretch will be through the hips. So bringing your feet in closer will make a bigger stretch or deeper stretch, and further out will be more relaxed. If you want to take it a step further, another option is to have another block or books or a cushion or whatever for your feet and balance the feet up on the block like that. So that will bring an even greater stretch. So up like this. So finding your variation. Of this reclined butterfly. And just resting into it. Staying here for a few minutes. This pose externally rotates the hips. It stretches through the groin, the hamstrings, the knees, the chest. And as I mentioned today, we're going to be working on those heart openers. So the motion or the posture that we're looking for here is that opening through the chest as you rest back on your bolster. As you're resting into your posture, remember to breathe steadily. And as always, if at any time you need to move or alter your pose in any way, please take a variation that works for you. Once you've found a comfortable position, I invite you to pour your attention into your still body. Gather your awareness in your breath. Turn up the volume of openness and acceptance. Feel a deep sense of release, wholeness, and peace. Drop into your energetic and physical heart space in your chest. Bring your awareness here and think about what quality would you like to embody for this practice? What about in your life in general? Listen while your heart speaks. Maybe it's searching for kindness, compassion, or a willingness to love more openly and fully. As you embody this quality, let it saturate your being. Be present to yourself, for yourself, just as you are. And thank yourself for showing up today. In this reclined butterfly, if you're not feeling the opening through the chest, maybe bringing the arms up a little, out to the side, and just resting into this posture. Gravity maybe taking the shoulders down further as we stay in this pose. We'll take our last few breaths here. When you're ready, maybe rolling over to one side and pushing yourself up slowly into a seated position. We're going to remove the props for our next posture. And you might want to cushion under your head. If laying flat on your back on your mat works for you, that's perfect. So we're going to come into a flat spine here. If lying on the floor doesn't work for you, maybe lying on your bed, or I suppose you also could do this from standing. We're going to be taking my pose with the pose with my favorite name. It's Bananasana, because we're going to make our body into the shape of a banana. So what we're going to do, bend the knees slightly. We'll take a couple steps with our feet over to the right, okay? Then you're going to cross that left leg over the right leg. So that's step one. Then with your arms, you're going to go in the same direction. So your arms can be overhead, but we want to pull them over to the right. So using your right hand, wrap it around the left wrist and pull the same direction. So your body should be in the shape of a banana, curving to the right. I hope that makes sense. I know a lot of you have your cameras off, so I'm hoping that you can work it out. So pulling the left arm to the right, crossing the left leg over the right leg, feeling a stretch from top to bottom through the left side of the body. Remember to breathe into any areas where there might be discomfort. You should feel a stretch through the outside of the hip, through the side body, through the arm, all the way up. So we'll remain here in this Bananasana for a few minutes. Besides the stretches that we feel in the body, this pose also stimulates the gallbladder, the heart, and the lung meridians. And so as we come into this heart opener and consider our heart chakra, we can ask ourselves some questions. Am I open to giving and receiving love? Do I tend to put others' needs before my own? Am I easily able to forgive myself and others? We'll take the rest of the time on this side just to reflect on those questions. And if your mind wanders, no problem. Just bring it back to the questions without judgment. We'll take about 3 more breaths here. And then we'll slowly release the arms, bringing them back down to the sides. Uncrossing the legs and just walking them back to the center. And let's give our body a moment here in neutral. Noticing any difference between the left side and the right. And now we'll just walk the feet carefully to the left. Cross the right leg over the left leg this time. So you feel that pull through the hip. And then arms overhead, this time grabbing the right wrist with the left hand and pulling to the left. So this time making your banana shape toward the left. I think the name of this pose is so funny. And the first time someone told me this pose, I thought she was making it up, but it's real. As we move through our heart openers today, which in a lot of ways will also be back bending poses. We're opening the shoulders and the chest and literally bringing the air into the lungs so that we can breathe more freely. As we're practicing, just make sure you aren't holding your breath, but breathing steadily. So not only are we working on opening our hearts in a metaphorical way, but also quite literally opening ourselves up and preparing to receive. With our last 3 breaths here, breathing into the tightness or the areas that are feeling tense. We'll release the arms, bringing them back down to the sides, and then walk the feet back over. Let the spine just rest in neutral for a moment. Maybe knocking the knees together or uh, having your feet out straight. Our next heart opener is going to be on our stomach. So we'll roll over. We're going to come into a Sphinx pose. If you can't do this on the floor, I think I showed last week, but you can do this one from standing. So you can imagine this exact same posture up against a wall. So coming onto the stomach and with the elbows underneath the shoulders, palms out in front of you. We're pushing up through the core, and you don't want all of the weight to be in your hands, okay? So you should be engaging the core here and using your back and abdominals to help hold you up here. Feeling this posture open through your chest, your lungs, and your lower back. It also helps stabilize the shoulders and lengthen the abdominal wall. If you have any pain in this posture, feel free to just come down into a crocodile pose, so just flat like this. Remember that in yin, we don't want pain. Discomfort is okay, pain is not okay. So anatomically speaking, the heart plays obviously a significant role in regulating our blood and in our circulation. In traditional Chinese medicine, the heart is considered the ruler of the kingdom and the central organizer of our beings. What's interesting is that the heart and the mind are not seen as separate. Instead, this sophisticated organ is considered to be the processor of emotions and thoughts. Negative or positive thoughts can alter the beat of our heart and change the state of our nervous system from rest to action in just a single heartbeat. And I'm sure we can all think of moments where that's happened to us, from a resting heartbeat to um, a crazy elevated heartbeat in just a matter of seconds, depending what's going on in our lives. But it is kind of interesting to consider the heart and the mind as one. We often hear talk of follow your heart, not your head, or vice versa. But what if we considered them more of a unit? An interesting conversation. We have about a minute left in this Sphinx posture, and if you want to deepen this just a bit for the last minute, you can push down through the palms and up into a seal. If you want to stay in your Sphinx, that's completely okay. Either are great options. No judgment on one or the other being better or worse, just whatever works for you. You have about 3 breaths left. You've got this. Inhale into the discomfort and exhale any tension. And we'll come down, resting the head on the hands just for a moment. Letting your spine realign in neutral here. When you're ready, we're going to come up to seated again to set up for our next posture. And we're going to need that little ramp again. So with your block or your pillows, whatever you've got with you, we'll set up our little ramps. And we're going to come into a supported deer pose. Typically I do this the postures to the right first, but I'm going to do it to the left so you can see. So when you have your little ramp here, this time you're going to bring yourself to sit with your left hip up against the ramp. And then you're going to take your legs out in 90-degree angles. Okay, so you'll see I'm kind of coming off the mat. And then once your legs are set, we're going to twist our upper body into the ramp here and just rest the torso down on your cushions. Okay, so when you're here, the head can be facing the same side as your legs, or if you want to extend the twist, you can take the head to the opposite side. Okay, for some people that's not accessible, whatever works for you. And then just allowing your body to rest on your props. The hands can rest on either side of the bolster, or they can come underneath and sort of snuggle in, whatever feels good. So this posture is good for hip mobility because of the internal and external rotations that we're making. And it also helps with digestion and stimulate the gallbladder, the liver, and the kidneys. So a lot of internal work going on today. When we talk about the heart chakra, it's often connected to an idea called santosha, which is one of the niyamas in yoga. And we're not going to get into that philosophy a lot, but santosha is the idea of contentment with whatever life is offering you. So the idea of being content. And I think especially when it comes to loving ourselves, we struggle with contentment. It's always I will be happier when this, or I will be happier if this, or there's always something we're reaching for, hoping for. And like, if I do yin, I'll be more flexible. If I meditate, I'll be more at ease or more content. If I'm content, people will love me. Like this never ending sort of cycle. But when do we get to just be happy and be happy with ourselves, who we are, how we are? I'll take 3 more breaths here. We'll walk the hands up, sort of lifting up off of the ramp, but not putting too much pressure or strain on your back. And we're going to switch sides. You might just flip around. I'm going to flip this way so that I'm not putting my back to you. So setting up the ramp if you have to move it. And then bringing I'm doing my right hip. I don't know which side you're on, but bringing the hip to the edge of the ramp and then bringing those legs back into 90-degree angles. Right, so when your legs are set and you're on the right hip, I think this time, laying the chest down onto your bolster. Letting your body relax fully into the props, knowing that it will support you. I'm afraid in some of these postures that you can't hear me because of these AirPods, so hopefully I'm Hopefully we're okay. When I think about these what ifs, I have to remind myself that yoga isn't about meeting a set of conditions or rules so that you can find happiness. It's a practice of meeting all parts of yourself with love. Your shortcomings, your stiff body, your aching bones, maybe the extra pounds and the mood you were in when you arrived. Santosha, or this state of contentment, is an inside job. Nothing we do can make us feel any which way. We have to ride the waves of our life as it is being presented and look for those sweet spots that radiate satisfaction regardless of our life's conditions, regardless of the shape of your body or the ability of your body. We may not like all the comings and goings in this life, but they make up our life. We can deal with them. We have the tools to make it work. Awesome. We'll take our last few breaths here. And slowly walk the hands back when you're ready. We'll move the cushions out of the way, but you will still need one cushion or a block as we come into a supported bridge pose. So laying flat on your back. The knees can be bent, and we'll just walk the feet back toward the hips. You should be able to sort of shimmy a little and touch the back of your heels. And then you know your feet are in the right spot. Then we will get that block ready. We'll push up through the heels, lifting the hips off the ground, and put the block or the cushion underneath the hips. You don't want it under the lower back in this posture. You want it under the hips, okay? So you can already feel the chest opening here, and you can either take the arms up to the sides in a cactus arm, or if you want, you can even bring them overhead. If you're going to bring them overhead, just trying to relax through the shoulders. You should almost be resting on the ground. So coming into your variation of a supported bridge. The heart chakra is the chakra of positive energy. It connects our lower chakras to the higher ones. And when it is open fully, the heart chakra becomes this channel to our true selves. It's in this space that we invite love to flow through us and allow it to heal ourselves and our relationships with others. The lesson of the heart is that we must fully love and accept ourselves before we can love and accept others. Take a moment to think about the space in and around your collarbones and just allow them to fall away from the ears, allow space into the chest, opening up the space that holds your heart. Bring your awareness to the space that surrounds your heart. Notice this space rise and fall with your breath. As you inhale, feel your belly expand and fill up your lungs with fresh air. And as you exhale, feel your belly contract, emptying out, creating space for new awareness. We'll take our last few breaths here. Bring the arms back down to the sides and push back up into the heels to remove that block. And just bring your spine down flat. Taking a moment in neutral. And then we're going to take our last posture before our Shavasana. So we're going to set up for a happy baby. You may want a pillow under your head. Bolster is not ideal, but my pillow's way over there. So for this happy baby, you're going to lay flat on your back and bring the knees into the chest as if you're going to sort of give yourself a little hug. Maybe you do give yourself a little hug here. And then you're going to take both feet from the outside of the foot, if possible, and push them up. I am not flexy today. Okay, so pushing the feet up as if they're going to be flat on the ceiling, like if you were going to walk on the ceiling. If this is not accessible for you, you could use a strap around the feet or a scarf or a dog leash or whatever would help you. I don't have my strap with me, or I would probably use it today because I'm just not feeling. You can also grab your big toes with your peace fingers, Alex calls them. Your first two fingers, you can grab your toes and push up that way. Should feel the lower back pushing into the ground here. And as you try to rest into this happy baby, no, we won't be here forever. As you're resting here, I invite you to think of a time when you were deeply loved. Maybe you didn't feel like you deserved this love, but what matters is that someone was loving you unconditionally. It might have been a parent, a grandparent, a friend, whomever it was. What's important is that they loved you simply for being who you are. Now feel in your heart what it was like to be so unconditionally loved. Not only can you receive this love, but you can generate this love and feel all of these kind feelings and goodness and warmth. Firstly, towards yourself, loving yourself unconditionally, no matter what mistakes you've made. And then you'll say to yourself, may I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be free. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be free. We'll take our last 3 breaths here in this happy baby. And I invite you to slowly release the feet and come into whatever resting pose feels right for you today. So for our Shavasana, maybe you want to take a traditional Shavasana, maybe back to your reclined butterfly, maybe a seated meditation. Feel free to use props or blankets or whatever will make this last few minutes together the best that it can be for you. How can you absorb the nutrients of our practice today? As you're resting into this final posture, let's expand that circle of love that we just generated for ourselves. I invite you to bring someone into your mind, into this little bubble of self-love. Someone that you already have natural loving feelings toward. So maybe it's a parent, it could be a dear friend, a relative, whomever it is. What matters is that you love them. So think of this person and let any feelings of warmth and compassion bubble up inside of you. What you can say to yourself, may they be happy, may they be healthy, may they be free. May they be happy, may they be healthy, may they be free. Now, why not allow this bubble of loving kindness grow even wider? Invite you to bring to mind someone who's maybe an acquaintance, maybe a colleague, or someone who works at the grocery store, or a neighbor from down the road. The point is, you don't know if this person is likable or unlikable. You don't know their story. But can you sit here and hold this individual in your heart? And wish that they be happy, that they be healthy, and that they be free. May they be happy. May they be healthy. May they be free. What else or who else is popping into your head right now? Who is showing up or what is showing up? Maybe it's another person, maybe it's a pet, maybe it's the environment, the plants, the animals, whatever is calling you or whoever is calling you. Whatever is coming into your mind, can you encompass it in this love and kindness? May it be happy. May it be healthy. And may it be free. May it be happy. May it be healthy. And may it be free. Lastly, I invite you to bring into your mind someone or something that is frustrating you. Maybe it's your boss at work, or maybe it's someone you've recently had an argument with. Whomever that person is, bring them in and invite them into your bubble. Though they may not be your favorite person, and though you might not be seeing eye to eye, let's wish that they be happy, that they be healthy, and that they be free. May they be happy. May they be healthy. And may they be free. And now just let them go. Let this feeling of love and kindness, love and light, let it wash over you and be all encompassing. Let it be sweeping. Let it be generous. Let it be soothing for all beings everywhere. I invite you to give your body a little wake up wiggle, wiggling through the arms and the legs, the fingers and the toes. Maybe a stretch or a hug. And when you're ready, we'll meet in the seated position. Once you're gathered here, anchor through the sit bones and sit up tall, elongating through the spine. I invite you to gather your palms at heart center or on your heart, whatever feels right for you. And bow your head as an expression of gratitude for everything that made this practice possible today. I invite you to dedicate your next breath in gratitude to honor the roots of yoga and those that have come before us. Let's dedicate the next breath to each other for sharing in this space and practice. And finally, a breath of gratitude for yourself for taking time to do something for you today. Thank you so much for trusting me to guide you through this practice. The light in me sees and honors the light in you. Thank you.